Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. If it is your first time on this channel, welcome. My name is George Kingori and I'm your online finance guy who speaks about all things finance, all the things about business, how you can be able to save, how you can be able to invest, and how you can be able to grow financially. So if it is your first time, welcome. If it is your second time, thank you. It is always a pleasure having you around. So today we are going to speak about 15 side hustles or mini jobs that you could be able to do to be able to either increase your income or make an income if you have something that you do most of the time. So these are mini jobs or side jobs. So the first job that you could be able to do is to be able to do a food delivery business. And I have covered a food delivery business and the logistics that are involved and what you need to be able to do. And you can go to that video and be able to check the details therein. But on a brief, you are going to learn how to make food, you're going to make good food and deliver to people. Deliver to people in offices or at their homes, but at their most convenient time. And you are going to charge a rate for that food, which is 100% markup of the costs that you actually incur. And if you are able to get at least 100 people and you're able to charge food, say $3, and you're making say $1 from it or $1.50, you'll be able to make $100 per day from your food delivery business. So ladies and gentlemen, you can get more information on this side job and you can be able to glean and be able to start your side job and make money. You could be able to square it to a science and be able to work 4 hours in a single day. In fact, capture the lunch market in a busy office block or the evening market for the people who have gone back at home and require food. But ensure that you are able to choose either between evening or between lunchtime so that you can be able to use the minimum number of hours and be able to deliver food and make your money within those hours. So the other thing that ladies and gentlemen you could be able to do is start cleaning services. You could be going to people's homes either in the weekends or when you are available and do cleaning services. Do a thorough clean down. You could start with cleaning clothes, then cleaning floors, then cleaning toilets. Just do a thorough clean down. Basically, somebody will be able to take your services, say for 5 hours in a week, and you'll be able to do the service of this house for the whole day. You could charge an amount that is for you sufficient. Any amount from say $100 going up or $100 to $50 based on the number of hours that the person has contracted you for. Basically, if you're able to capture at least 5 people, you could be able to work this job for several hours in a week and be able to make your money sufficient to cater for your needs. The other side job that could be able to do or mini job you could be able to do is write an ebook. If you have the skills and you have knowledge and you have a passion in writing and you can write something that people would find important, either an entertaining book or an informative book or an educational thing, you could be able to do a book and be able to earn money from it without actively working on the job. So you can do an ebook and market the ebook and be able to make money as you go. Of course, when you are starting out, you may not have many sales, but over time, if you do one ebook, then you're able to do another one, then another one. You could be able to be on your way to making money without actively being involved in it. The other thing that you could be able to do is offer an online course, maybe through Skillshare or any other platforms. You could do a training. I'm sure that you are knowledgeable in something. Do a training, formulate a training, and do a video and professional video and edit and upload. And once people are going through your tutorial or the thing that you are teaching, you are able to earn money as they continue to train. You earn per minute as people continuously learn of your special skill or tutorial that you are showing. So that is something that you could be able to pursue if you have the skills and you have the ability to be able to teach, and people would be able to pay to listen to you. The other thing that you could be able to do is do things like cookbooks. You could be able to do a cookbook and be able to sell it as a PDF. You could be able to sell it to people via email. You could be able to sell it via another third party who will be able to sell that cookbook. If you are good at cooking and you can be able to take wonderful pictures and you can be able to write down the recipes, that is something that you could be able to explore, that could be able to make you money. Again, ladies and gentlemen, anyone can be able to do it. But if you have the passion and you have the skill, you could be able to do it and be able to make money, and simple money, as you go without actively being involved in the process. The other thing, ladies and gentlemen, you could be able to do is offer an Airbnb experience. An Airbnb experience could be being a tour guide in a big city, showing people around and they pay you money. It could be having a cooking experience with foreigners who come and want to try out local meals and cuisine. It could be anything. Just try and figure out what people from other places would desire to be able to learn and experience in your unique region, and be able to formulate an experience and charge it. You could be able to do for a group or for an individual, whichever suits you. So look for the Airbnb experiences that you could be able to offer at the time that you are available to offer this particular service. The other thing that you could be able to do is, if you are good with music, with vocals, you can teach singing, or you are good with instruments, you could be able to offer musical lessons. You could be able to do one-on-one musical lessons, or you could be able to offer online lessons, or you could be able to do group sessions, whichever is appropriate for you. So ensure that you market this service and be able to go to people's homes and teach them, or look for a specific location that could be able to do those teachings. Just find a way that you could be able to offer your service, because indeed I know many parents who will be willing to pay for such services for their children to be able to learn and to be able to grow musically. So you could target children or adults, but ensure that you formulate a package and ensure that you tailor it to your specific market that you desire to explore. So that is one of the things that you could be able to do. The other thing that you could be able to do, if you have the time and you are always on social media, you could be able to take on a social media gig. You would be surprised how many companies would desire to be able to have a social media presence and be active social media wise, but they do not have a clue, or they do not have the ability to start such a thing. They are old businesses managed by old people who do not know the ways of social media. So go out in your local area. If you have the internet and you have the time and you have the capacity, you could be able to do social media marketing and manage people's pages and responses online in your specific area. So go around and find out the people you could be able to do social media for. In fact, you could be able to do for several companies at one go and respond to people and push products and do such. So look for social media gigs to be able to handle the social media presence of the local business in your specific area. That is one of the things that you could be able to do. The other thing that you could be able to do is you could do photography. And when I speak about photography, I do not just mean photography where you take portraits and wedding photography. I'm talking about things like macro photography and or architectural photography. Basically, what I am asking you to do is do the kind of photography that you can be able to sell stock images or artistic photographs that people could be able to download, print, and blow up and put in their living rooms. That is the kind of job that you'll be able to do and post photos and don't actively be involved in, because they are managed by third parties, and at the end of the month you could make some money. In fact, I know a specific photographer who does this in Nairobi and is able to make enough money and does not need to take private photography gigs. That is something that you could explore and be able to do. And the funny thing is, you could still make money from this gig even years after you are no longer actively involved in doing this photography activity. So ladies and gentlemen, those are some of the things that you could be able to do. The other thing that you could be able to do is, if you're good with braiding hair, and I'm specifically talking about African women, if you're good with braiding hair and you could offer these services, there are many people who do not have the time or they could not be able to access these services because either they are stay-at-home moms and cannot go to salons. You could offer this service to go to their homes and offer this service. You could even charge a premium because of offering personalized salon services. In fact, you could bundle it up and offer hair services, then offer nails, to do them nails and makeup and things like that. You could offer a small package to personalize to a person, and you could be able to offer this service. And if you're able to get enough clients over a period of time, you could be able to make sufficient money with that. In fact, I know a lady in Kenya who does sister locks. Sister locks are specific to African hair. So they look like dreads, but they are actually made by people. This lady is able to travel to many parts of the country offering this service and makes enough money to even have an assistant to go around the country with. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that you could try to do if you are good with making hair, and specifically African hair, because those services are required and people are willing to pay for them. The other thing that you could do is start a Facebook group. Yes, these days, in this day and age, Facebook groups are making some money for their members. Start a Facebook group. Look for a specific topic that you desire to, or there are number of people who would willing and to talk about. These groups can be able to galvanize a certain characteristic of people. And for example, if you take a group of people who are so interested in, say, technology things, you could be able to galvanize enough people to be able to get sponsors who could be able to pin certain advertisements in the wall so that members could be able to see. And you could be able to charge an amount, maybe per week or per day, to these people so that you could be able to make an extra amount of money. You could be able to offer certain classes through these groups. If it is a group that could be able to take such, maybe specific classes, or people could be able to pay monthly subscriptions to be able to get additional access to various items and information. They could be able to pay a certain membership, a small amount of money. In fact, I know somebody who does that and offers specific membership that people pay on a monthly basis. And people have subscribed. A lot of people have subscribed. Around 400 people have subscribed every month, paying $5 every month, coming to $2,000 just because of a Facebook group. So that is something that could be able to, of course, you can't have a big crowd to begin with, but once you have the crowd, you could be able to capitalize it to make an extra amount of money as a side hustle. The other thing that you could be able to do is rent out an Airbnb. If you have a big house, you could be able to rent out a room. You could be able to rent out a room that could be able to be used as an Airbnb space and be able to make some money as you go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have the space and you are willing to meet new people in your specific, new people coming to your specific house, if you do not mind having people in your house, then you can be able to do an Airbnb room and be able to rent out. In fact, I know somebody who rents out an Airbnb space in Westlands, Nairobi, and they are able to pay their rent out of the Airbnb money. So ladies and gentlemen, if it is something that you'll be able to do, you can be able to do and make some money to be able to pay off your rent or even meet an extra amount in your expenses, your monthly expenses. So if it is something that you could exploit, please do. Another thing that you could be able to do is offer babysitting services, especially in European countries and say in the Americas, where people cannot be able to pay for a permanent person to stay with a family. You could be able to explore offering babysitting services. You could also offer them as a part-time option. Maybe you could be able to drop off children to school or pick children from school or spend time with children before their parents come from work. But you could be able to get an arrangement that could be able to help you meet some of your expenses. So look for options around your area, and I am sure you could be able to get an opportunity that could be able to fit your specific criteria. The other thing that you could be able to do is to do gardening. There are many people who desire to have wonderful gardens, manicured gardens, but either they do not have the time or they are incapable of doing it. You could be able to offer these services to people at a fee. And remember, you do not need a whole day to cut grass and maintain a lawn. So ensure that you look out for the neighbors and give them leaflets and tell them that you offer these services. You could be able to get several people doing that for a period of time and be able to make a significant amount of money as a side hustle. Ladies and gentlemen, in connection with another point that I gave, you could offer makeup services. Specifically, you could target your makeup services for things like weddings. So you could be able to offer wedding makeup services so that people, when they have their wedding, could be able to secure your services, maybe for a whole day, maybe on a Saturday or on a Sunday or on a Friday. But you could be able to make some money that could be able to meet your expenses. You do not need an office space or a permanent place. You could be a traveling makeup artist. In fact, you could also do this in collaboration with your local photographers. When they have specific projects, they could be able to source your services at specific times, and you could be able to arrange this around your main hustle or after your classes or things like that. So ladies and gentlemen, these are opportunities that you could be able to explore to be able to make some good money. The other thing that you could be able to do is sell used items. Ladies and gentlemen, there is always somebody who is getting rid of something. You could make it an art to be collecting the things that people are putting away because they do not have the time to look for somebody to sell to, or they do not want to meet people, or for whatever reason. You could be collecting these items and sell slowly by slowly. There are so many things that people are giving away, but they do not know the value, and they could be able to get some money from it. So go around and collect things and sell at a small amount of money. You could be able to make some money from reselling things that are already been given for free, and you'll be able to make some money. You could be able to deliver or offer people to come and collect them at your specific convenient time, and you could make it a side hustle. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not know what is keeping you from exploiting the options that I have given you. If you have other options that other people could be able to exploit, please put them in the comment section. Remember to like this video because it has been helpful to you, and subscribe to the channel and be able to get this and more tips as you continue solidifying your financial growth. Thank you.